watching
but
this
I'll put the
video.
video on the internet and people will be able to see it. Doctor Who is back for a brand new season, and we are here once again to review it. You get the views of me, I'm not going to say my age, and the views of a 10-year-old and the views of a 5-year-old. So across the spectrum for this new episode, we're reviewing the Robot Revolution. What?
Reveal our name, our age. You don't reveal your age.
Fine, I'm in my 30s. I can say I'm in my 30s, and that'll still be true. Hi, I'm Phil. Welcome to my channel, Culture Filter, where I like to talk about all the geeky pop culture that I like and consume, including Doctor Who. And for the next 8 weeks, I'll be doing weekly reviews, probably joined by these two most times, unless in the next... Yeah, it's 8 weeks of episodes.
I thought it was 6 weeks.
No. They're probably going to join me most weeks, but they may, just on a whim decide not to in the morning. I had to drag this one out of bed to watch it this morning, so...
Hello.
You were already up there, weren't you? You were up way before me.
I like laying in.
Yeah,
I was
you're
too
not
tired.
a morning person. He is a morning person. Anyway, me and Rowan are in our TARDIS t-shirts. Look, show me your TARDIS t-shirt. Whee!
Okay, go away. And I'm in my white t-shirt.
Yeah, not Doctor Who theme
My
at all.
happiness t-shirt.
So, brand new season, brand new companion. Without any spoilers, let's do non-spoilers first for those watching that don't want spoilers, and then we'll go into spoilers. So, without revealing any plot points, did you like the episode?
Yes, it was very good.
Very excellent. Did you like the episode, Rowan?
Yes!
Yeah? What, without revealing specifics, what did you like about it? Not a specific moment, but did you like the characters? Did you like the setting?
Are we allowed to reveal the characters?
You can reveal the characters. Yeah, there's not plot points about the characters.
Okay, so I really liked what are they called? The Rebels
Yeah?
and the new companion and the robots.
Cool. Which was your favourite character?
Robot.
You like the robots. Were they scary or were they funny?
Funny.
Funny.
Yeah?
Funny. And then new companion. And what I want the machine again?
The AI generator. The big
I
machine.
thought it was the AL.
Well, we'll get to that. So, yes, what did I think of this episode? I'm going to get my negatives out of the way first, because for me, the main negative was kind of the pre-title sequence. I'll explain why. Because, and it was something that went, a criticism I had that went away throughout the rest of the episode, so I don't know if it was deliberate. But the way the dialogue came across, particularly from Belinda in that opening episode, had me a little worried about how her character was coming across, because it didn't feel very naturalistic in the situation that she was in. It kind of felt a bit pantomime-esque, and I was a bit worried that would be maintained throughout the whole episode. By the way, we're going to go into spoilers from now on, so you can feel free to say anything about the plot from now on. Okay. So that whole bit where she was getting kidnapped, I was a bit like, oh, I'm not really sure about this, how she's doing this character, and I didn't know if that was the way she was particularly directed in that scene, the way she decided to portray that character all the time, or if it was the writing, but there was something about it that just didn't quite, and it got me a little bit worried in that opening scene, but I will say that disappeared by the end, because some of her real character sort of came out towards the end, especially towards the end of the episode, and it became less kind of pantomime delivery and more naturalistic delivery as we went on. So I do wonder if that contrast was maybe deliberate, but it had me a little bit worried about the start. Any thoughts about the opening when she was getting kidnapped?
Yeah, I want to say, when she was getting kidnapped, it just felt a bit, stiff and, I don't know, it just didn't really go well.
Yeah, I would say as well that was a bit rushed. It, and I get why they want to get into the main story, but it felt like the characterization of Belinda was very rushed in those opening moments. We had an appearance by Mrs. Flood. Her mystery continues, very tactfully staying out of the way of the Doctor. So
Deliberately.
she's going to be in every episode this season, apparently. Where you going, Rowan?
Rowan's leaving.
Rowan's got bored already. He'll probably wander back in at some point. And yeah, the robots I thought were interesting from the get-go. They're good design overall.
I thought they were cute.
They were a bit cute, yeah. I think that was deliberate. I really do like the kind of 50s sci-fi aesthetic they were going for in this episode. I thought that really went really well. In fact, the whole visuals of the whole thing were really nice in this. I thought the city was really good. Did you like the look of it, Rowan?
Rowan's back.
He's kind of back. He's on the floor at the moment. There we go. Did you like the big city?
I didn't like how it was getting destroyed.
Well, no, that's, the robot revolution, kind of the robots attacking the rebels and stuff, was sad. But there we go, they solved it by the end. There also in the intro, we had the introduction of Alan, who is Belinda's ex-boyfriend, who, right from the moment, was a bit of, I have to mind my language here, there's little ones present, but not a very nice person. Very controlling, and just like, instantly you want her to dump him. Did you want her to dump him?
Yes.
Yeah, there we go.
He was a bad person.
Well, yes, we know from the very end, spoilers, he was a very bad person, or became a very bad person. But even in this moment before, he's just like not a very nice person, frankly. And I didn't know at that point that he was going to come back, although looking back, in hindsight, it makes complete sense that he ended up being the villain of the piece.
I mean, like, it felt kind of weird. Like, at the start, when Alan was handing Belinda the certificate, it just felt kind of weird, and I felt like he was going to come back with something to do with the certificate, but I wasn't quite sure what.
Yeah. I thought the timey-wiminess of the certificate and how, how she ended up being the queen of this planet and how Alan, ended up on the planet, all of that sort of stuff with the certificate, I thought was very interesting. There's still a bit of mystery left about the certificate because the Doctor still doesn't know how the certificate ended up on that planet for them to, 10,000 years ago, for them to assume that she would be their queen. So that's interesting. That's obviously going to be a thread that goes back into it later on. Go on then, you want to talk about the little robot?
So, what did it have a name?
I'm not sure if it had a name. It was just kind of sweep. Let's call it the little sweeper. A mopper. Was it a mopping? What did it say? Polish. That's it. Polish.
Little polisher.
Polish.
So, I really liked the little robot that just went around, and my favourite bit was when the robot would just go up to everyone and go like, polish, polish. And it was just really cute, and the little voice was really cute as well.
Polish, polish.
Rowan, what was your favourite bit of the whole episode?
I liked...
Look at the camera. No?
Oh. Just talk to me then. It's fine, you don't have to look at the camera. Oh no. Okay, we'll come back to you.
My favourite bit was obviously the little robot just sweeping on the floor. I also liked how the robots couldn't understand like the ninth thing or whatever.
Oh, the 9 words thing. Yeah, that was interesting.
The robots couldn't understand that. So every time the Doctor was talking to Belinda, he would always use like the 9-word thing, which means like the robots wouldn't understand him when he was talking in front of the robots.
Yes. Yeah, I like that bit, actually. When they reintroduced the Doctor, and we found out that he'd been there for 6 months already.
Yeah, and made a friend.
Made a friend, sort of a side companion that we never really knew, in a way, because he's been friends with this Sasha for 6 months. There could be some expanded universe stories in that, potentially. The whole ninth, I thought that was very interesting. That whole interaction, I thought that was an interesting thing to do, and quite liked that. And the 9 words thing came into play later on as well. So, it came back around. It wasn't just for that moment. But even if it had just been for that moment, I think that would have worked too. There were a lot of mysteries set up in this episode. We've obviously got the continuing mystery of Mrs. Flood. We've got the certificate and how that ended up getting to that planet. We've got the Doctor was told that Belinda was important by somebody, some guy that we don't know yet. I'm probably going to have some theory videos on that at some point. And what else was there? The whole Belinda looking like Mundy Flynn and her being an ancestor of Mundy Flynn, that was in there as well. There's a lot of stuff being kind of set up to tease throughout the rest of the season, and that I'm liking that stuff so far. But I'm also slightly worried based on how last season ended up with their mysteries, because I was intrigued by the Ruby Sunday mystery last year and I wasn't massively satisfied with the ending. So I'm kind of cautiously liking the mysteries, but as they need to have a good ending. We'll see. That she was just an ordinary person and there were actually the snow and everything, and the person in the cloaked hood was her mum just pointing at the sign to name her. Can't remember any of that, huh?
No.
There we go. That's how
memorable
memorable
the snow
it was.
Bit, but what about the snow?
So her mum was the
Yeah.
person in the cloak.
I thought that was her.
No. And then she was pointing at the sign, and that was what the pointing was. Because she was pointing at the sign when everybody was theorising it was something else. But anyway, it didn't quite work. But hopefully this one is a bit less of a letdown at the end. We will see. We'll have to look at that. Actually, going back to the Sasha stuff, when she dies, Sasha, and then the Doctor has that moment, it obviously really affects him. This has been his friend for 6 months. We haven't seen that relationship, but there's a very justifiable crying moment. I had some criticism last season as well that he cried a bit too much, in the sense that every episode there was a moment where the Doctor would cry, and that, want to make this absolutely clear, there's no criticism of being the Doctor shouldn't cry. The Doctor should cry in the right moments, and some of those moments were last season, but because he did it every episode, it kind of got a bit devalued and lost its impact as the season went on. This is one instance where he did cry again. You see a tear roll down his cheek when he is thinking about Sasha, because she's just died. She's his friend, and I think it works. And this is one instance where he should have cried. This is effectively a companion dying. A companion we don't know, but someone he's been friends with for 6 months. So yes, he should cry.
I'd like to say something.
Yeah.
So going back to about the relationship with Sasha and the Doctor, we don't, as my dad said, we don't really know what happened between them. It could have been a really strong relationship. It could have been a low relationship. We don't really know.
Yeah, I would guess from how he reacted to her death that there was quite a close bond there, I would have thought. And who knows, maybe they'll explore that in comics or novels or audio dramas in the future. Maybe we'll go back to this period of his life, who knows. What else is there to say? So the Alan stuff, obviously very blatantly put in there, signposted as an analogy for sort of incels and misogyny and controlling coercive relationships. When he gets taken to this, that's why she dumps him in the first place, and that's when he gets taken by the robots to this planet. He sees it as an opportunity to basically exert control and rule the whole planet in the way he wants to. There will be certain segments of YouTube and the internet that I'm sure rage about that, which frankly, if you're raging against somebody being portrayed as a bad person because they are controlling in a relationship, I think you maybe need to reassess your own priorities a bit there. But I think it worked quite well. It wasn't subtle, but I don't think it always needs to be subtle. They very much signposted it, but it kind of works in this instance, and it's an interesting topic to deal with. So Doctor Who has always dealt with social issues, and that is a social issue that is interesting, and they gave it a interesting sci-fi twist, so I think it kind of worked quite well. The only issue I had with it, and it is a little bit of an issue, is when he gets destroyed. We hear that he got basically reduced back to a sperm and an egg, and he's on the floor and then gets polished up by the thing, which is played off as a joke. But I do think that maybe is a little the way the Doctor reacts to that. Not that he should have massively lamented the loss, but the kind of glee he has in that moment feels a bit like the Doctor shouldn't be that happy about the loss of a life, because the Doctor usually is quite, even with the bad guys, he will kill them if it's a last resort, but he does try and preserve life when he can. So gloating over a death doesn't feel very Doctorish. So that's another small criticism I have of that moment. But that's the only real criticism I have of that plot. And there we go. Was there anything you didn't like about the episode? Was there any bits you didn't like or anything that...
Well, I did say one earlier just about her getting kidnapped.
Yeah. I think that was probably the weakest, which is a shame because it's the opening scene, but I think it was the weakest of the episode. Mm-hmm. What about you, Rowan? Was there anything you didn't like?
No.
No?
You liked all of it?
Cool. You've started collecting Doctor Who toys now, haven't you? Is there any things from that episode you'd want as a toy?
From that episode?
Yeah. They haven't made any, I just like, but if they made them, would you like the robots as a toy?
The robots would be cool. They
Oh,
could be
The red
one of-
robots.
yeah.
Yeah? Come on, character options, make that toy.
And maybe,
Got a customer here.
And maybe it will come with the little robot
Oh yeah,
that
that's cool. Yeah, it could
polishes.
do as a little accessory. It could have the polisher robot as an accessory. Yeah, I like that idea. Come on, character options, get on it.
I got that doctor.
You do. You have the 15th Doctor toy, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you want to say your favourite moment now?
Where the doctor shouts up to Belinda as he's going up to the rock.
Oh, when he's escaping the rocket. Yeah, in
like,
that opening scene.
Belinda!
Well, thank you for watching. We'll be back for the review next week. In the meantime, I'll try and get some videos out midweek, maybe some theory videos, stuff like that. So if you want to hear any of that, do hit subscribe down below. And yeah, we'll be back for more videos soon.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah, like and subscribe.
Yeah, like and subscribe. Bye.